Hi, this is Nicholas Bell with IONCINEMA, here to review Nightmare Alley, the 11th film directed by Guillermo del Toro, which is based on the novel by William Lindsay Gresham. It is being released courtesy of Fox Searchlight through Walt Disney on December 17th, 2021. This is, of course, del Toro's follow-up to his Best Picture-winning film, The Shape of Water. The previous version of this film is a masterpiece directed by Edmund Goulding in 1947, starring Tyrone Power and Colleen Gray and Joan Blondell, etc. Casting for del Toro's version is pitch perfect, and he, along with co-writer Kim Morgan, who was a writer and story editor on Guy Madden's The Forbidden Room, really flesh out the lead character, this time around played by Bradley Cooper, Stanton Carlyle, who is a man we're introduced to in a bit of a different way in this version that underline some familial dysfunctional issues he has that kind of help make this seem a lot more impeccable and seamless as it psychologizes its characters and gets really into the depths of human darkness and hubris and selfishness and desperation and desolation and kind of marrying that into this beautiful genre blend that is the novel by Gresham as well, who also was an alcoholic and died kind of destitute. Anyhow, Stan Carlyle joins this carnival where he's at first horrified by something that's called a geek. That's the kind of a barbaric act at the time, because this is set on the eve of World War II, where a man in a pit who's characterized as half beast and bites the heads off chickens and eats their blood, which is important to know based on where this character goes. He wheedles his way in there. There's a psychic played by Toni Collette, Xena. She's married to Pete, played by David Strathairn, who is kind of an old drunk who really can't do anything anymore besides kind of help he assists her in their kind of shambolic low-rent act. But they had once been notable performers because he had crafted a way to speak through verbal cues and hand gestures to fool audiences into thinking they're giving psychic readings, or spook shows, as they call them. Stanton ends up trying to kind of get those secrets from Pete and inadvertently kills him. But he takes those secrets and runs away with the ingenue of the carnival, Molly, played by Rooney Mara in this version. And 2 years later, they are very notable performers until he's introduced to a psychologist, played by Cate Blanchett, Dr. Lilith Ritter, who is doing kind of the same mental games as Stanton. And these two predators take on the small town that they live in, and it just goes downhill from there. This is a film that really does exemplify that famous quote from Nietzsche about if you look into the abyss looks back into you. It's about one man's undoing at his own hands, if you will, and I think Bradley Cooper is excellent in this, as is everybody else. It was shot by Dan Lauston, who lends Shape of Water and Crimson Peak for del Toro previously. The first film is actually kind of long, especially for a film noir at 1 hour and 50 minutes, and this is 2.5 hours, and it definitely doesn't feel like it. It clips right along, but it is bleak, and it is punctuated with lots of del Toro's touches, things that you couldn't have seen in the 1940s film version, of course, such as what the geek really gets up to. Excellent supporting turns from Willem Dafoe, Richard Jenkins, Mary Steenburgen, Tim Blake Nelson, Holt McCallany, Clifton Collins Jr. even pops up. Oh, and of course, del Toro's Hellboy, Ron Perlman himself is in the film. Overall, if you're a fan of the original, I think this is must-see, despite it doesn't seem like Fox really knows how to correctly market this film, and it's probably only was able to be made under these circumstances because del Toro was his last film won Best Picture. But this is definitely dark, adult cinema that the kind of at the studio level we just don't see anymore. And even though, yes, it's not an original story, I think del Toro does something quite original with it that makes it stand on its own and as equally compelling as the original film. Overall, I would give Guillermo del Toro's Nightmare Alley, 4.5 out of 5 stars. Thank you.
Hey, this is Eric from IONCINEMA.com. If you want to support us, subscribe below. For more reviews, interviews, film festival coverage from Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, you want to check out these guys on this side.